Dufawa, the queen of shade.
Back to the 80s is a song that is very near and dear to my heart. I was born in the 80s. I love 80s fashion. I love the 80s. It's about my mother, my biological mother. Growing up, I didn't have my mother. My mother was sexually abused early in life, and it kind of caused her to spiral. And she got hooked on drugs in the 80s when cocaine and crack swept the Black community. So, even though that happened, I remember being a little boy, and I remember my mother being such a good mother. She was such a good mother. She picked me up from school. She made my lunch. She sang to me. She made sure I watched Disney. She made sure I dreamed. She was such a good mother before it all went bad. So Back to the 80s is a song where it's like, I remember my mother. Take me back to the time when my mother was an amazing mom. So that's why I wrote Back to the 80s. I made it sound like it's a love affair. And boys love their mothers. So Back to the 80s is pretty self-explanatory. It's about my mom, and it's about remembering the good stuff about my mom, and not necessarily the bad stuff that I saw or was told. Back to the 80s is like a feel-good song for me. My producer, Kara Tavers, or Minnie on the boards, she was really good with capturing the essence of my melody and what I wanted. And it just came out so beautifully. And even when I recorded it, going into the booth to sing it, it just flowed out of me like velvet. It just really did. It just flowed out of me. It was something that I had been waiting to say for a long time, and that I didn't even realize I still had those memories, of my mother when I was so young, but I did. And my mother was a good mother. So I hold on to those good memories of my mother, and I kind of immortalized those memories in a song because, I won't live forever, but the song Back to the 80s will.